Okay, let's try to do so today, like in this video, like I want to try to show you the way ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT for data analysis and exploration tasks. So so again, like part of my job is to look at and analyze data sets and get some estimates or to get ideas and things like that. Like the climate change one is like one example, right? Like, so I wanted to see like if there are any trends that are interesting, and that's a very good way of looking at it. But sometimes you want to do more detailed deep dives into the data and understand phenomena and things like that. And again, like AI is super powerful and like it's very helpful in that sense. So let me try to show you like some examples of how I use AI for data analysis kind of tasks, especially exploratory data analysis. So I have a rough idea of what I want to look at, and I want to do like quickly understand where and what kinds of data exists and what can be done about it. So let me try to do two examples. So one is something that I've already looked at some another. Let me try to wing it and try to see how well AI actually works. So let's see. Like so, basically, the way I do it is let's say I have a I want to look at how road accidents happen in the US and like analyze deaths from road accidents or something like that. So I go to data.gov, which is like the government website that is a unified portal for all sorts of government data, official statistics. So I will say road accidents. Uh, okay, so there's lots of data here. So let's check this. So this is what is this? This is just uh, data set from January. It's only 2022. Want something like this. So this is state of New York. Key performance data from 2008 to 2021. So let's check this. So sometimes these data sets are super huge. So I don't want to, like, I mean, at least I want to show you just useful stuff. Like, okay, this is not too big. It's 4.5 megabytes. So basically, let's check this. So it says, okay, there's a bunch of columns. And actually, this is not even about any accidents. But anyway, I don't care. Like, so basically what I usually do when I download a data set like that is complex is I just go here, put it into ChatGPT and say, describe what this data set is uh, about and suggest some um, uh, exploratory analysis on this data set. Okay, so let's check that. Okay, while that is being processed, so it already read that data set and is trying to analyze it. Let's try to find a better data set. So this is quite good actually. Road traffic injuries. Uh, this is okay. Autonomous vehicle survey. Maybe this is good. Like this is in Pittsburgh. So it's about yeah, Pittsburgh is a very good case study because AV companies have been testing autonomous vehicles. So they've done this sort of survey of people. Okay, this is quite good. So let's get this survey data. So this is a data set of uh, uh, a survey of participants. So about autonomous driving, and then are they a cyclist or not? Are they a pedestrian? And how much they rate, the safety of autonomous vehicles and autonomous and humans, and so on, right? Like yeah, basically it also has some other information. It's a small data set, right? Like it's maybe a few hundred entries. Anyway, again, I don't want to spend too much time on it. Like basically, let's first get back to this other data set. So this is MTA key performance data that we downloaded from 2008 to 2021. So this is describing the data set. It's telling me what it is, right? So data set contains key performance indicators on for various MTA agencies. Each row represents specific metric, and here's a breakdown. So the agency name, indicator name, like, things like collisions with injury rates, explanation, safety indicators, frequency is usually monthly, increased or decreased, and time period, right? Like, so it's saying, okay, for exploratory data analysis, you might want to count these things, plot time series. That's a very interesting thing. Performance analysis. Okay, I don't want to think too much. Like, let's say, okay, I like the suggestions. Let's do them. Something like that. Like, I think it'll might not do everything because of the way these outputs are usually, but yeah, I think it'll start from the top and like look at descriptives of the data set, like what agencies are there, how many data points are there for each agency, things like that. Uh, Again, like, behind the hood, what it is doing is just writing code like that takes in this data set and gives us some output. Again, I would have written this data set myself, like this code myself, like if it were not for ChatGPT. But now, okay, I have ChatGPT, which is like, again, saving me a lot of time. So, okay, basically, it just did sort of monthly performance indicator. So let's see. So you can do this, and you can also enable this sort of interactive. Okay, interactive thing is broken, I think. Okay, basically what it is saying is employee last time and restricted duty rate. So, okay, I don't know what these are, but but I mean, you can see already that, it is not just doing a plot, but it's saying, okay, this is the target and this is the actual. So apparently during this time, the target was quite low and the actual value is quite high. Again, if I knew what this data set was, maybe this made sense. But let me just try to ask it something actually helpful. So I will say, okay, I want to just look at NYC transit. I want to just look at NYC transit and plot the number of injuries over time. Let's see, probably this is in the data. Again, this is written in plain English, but actually what it has to do is very complex, right? Is to go get this agency names, filter out for NYC transit, and then it has to find this indicator name, collisions with injuries, and then find the actual number that actually happened, right? Let's see if that is doing it. Okay, it did it, right? Like, so this is monthly injury counts for NYC Transit, and there are three indicators. So in buses, you have accidents and injuries. For subways, you only have injuries. You can also do this. Okay, sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works, but this is not an interactive plot, but it's good, right? Like, you can already see per month in the orange line is subways. In a subway, per month, on average, like three people are getting injured. And on buses, it's much lower, but actually collisions for buses is much higher, actually. Injury is much lower, collisions is probably higher. But anyway, I think already looking at this, right? Like, so you went from this huge data set. So that's a very large file, actually, that had like probably tens of thousands of entries. Yeah, like hundreds of thousands of entries, right? Like, I would not have the way to look at them. I just put it here and gave me some quick ideas, right? Like, so if again, I'm not looking for deeper research into this area, but if I was working in this and I wanted to look at and write a report about, let's say, public transportation in YC, things like that. Like, this is a very good starting point. In like 5 minutes, I got this information. This is really nice. Okay, let's try to get another where we actually analyze this data. Again, I'll do the same. Uh, Analyze this data set, tell me what's in it, and suggest some exploratory analysis on this. So it loaded the data and it's now analyzing it to look at what is in the data set. So let's check. Mhm. Okay, so it says it's from 2019, a survey of public perceptions on autonomous vehicles with 795 respondents. So it has, respondent ID, familiarity with news and the technology, whether the respondent shared spaces with AVs while biking or walking, safety ratings for humans and AV drivers, things like that, a bunch of different things. So already it's giving us like some exploratory analysis ideas. So let's check. Like for instance, I want to know, for instance, comparing safety of, whether they think autonomous vehicles are safe or humans are safe across these, right? Like I think that's very interesting. Age, auto owner, like and smartphone owner. Like if I was a car owner myself, maybe I will have certain types of views. Things like these. So I will say, let's do this. I didn't even specify, I just copy pasted it, right? Like, but you can also see some of these questions that it gave. Like these might give you some ideas. Okay, it says, okay, who supports low speed AV zones? Break this down by whether they actually know about the tech or not. Like this is another thing that sounds very interesting. So let me copy paste it. Like let's first wait for this to be done, and then I'll paste that. Map responses using zip codes. I think this is quite good as well. Let's try to see if that is possible. Okay, this is very interesting. Let's try to do that. It's still generating. Um, Okay, let's also do this while we go and look at these plots actually. Okay, firstly, it gave us these plots, right? And it says, it also gave us the actual interpretation of those plots. It says younger age groups are generally rate AVs as safer or on par with human drivers. Older tend to trust human drivers. Again, super interesting finding. So let's try to explore this plot. So here, I think this thing will work, right? Like, so I click this thing, and what? No. So this one is actually this one. Okay. So basically, this is what is the blue thing? Yeah, blue is safety of AVs. So one thing you can see is already like there's this sort of upward trend on safety across age groups, right? So that means older people think humans are safer. On average, in general, people always think AVs are safer than humans, right? Across all age groups. It's the same, like irrespective of whether you're an auto owner or not, or you have a smartphone or not. Like if you don't own a smartphone, you don't have the significant difference. Otherwise, you have a difference. But some of these are like really, really, really good, right? I mean, they really give us a very clear idea of like some of these. Okay, let me also do the uh, plotting thing. Let's check this question. Let's try to do this. I doubt if this is gonna work, but let's check how this is gonna work. But already, you can see like some of these are like really good. Like so, for instance, if you have no familiarity of news, then so you your support for AV employees is like very low. Like, you would say I would not support them. But if you, uh, to a large extent, if you have them, then, your support goes from when this was like 10% to 40% or something like that. That's a super significant jump. Let's see. Okay. So basically it says, okay, option, upload a zip file that contains zip codes or export CSV of unique zips. You can geocode using basically this is useless to a certain extent. So yeah, I mean this is not helpful, so that's fine. Like but already some of these other types of analysis that is suggested will give me like a really detailed information about like that analyzes this data set. Again, I wouldn't have the mental capacity to analyze all of these data sets myself. But now with AI, I can quickly just check, okay, what is the perception of autonomous vehicles in Pittsburgh? Yeah, I mean, then I can get that done in like 10 minutes and get like, okay, this difference across age groups, smartphone ownerships, and owning a car yourself, like whether you're shared a lane with them on a bike or not, things like that, you can quickly get a sense, right? So now let's try to get some other thing that I haven't tried. Let me check. So usually the sort of mapping is possible. So basically, one of the things that I'm trying to do these days is look at refugee settlements in Syria, and like where people are settling down, and I want to do some understanding of like how and where refugees have settled down. So let me just try to just Google for some data that exists out there. I mean, there is definitely a lot of survey data that UNHCR and a bunch of these international organization of migration, they all collect about refugees. So let me try to see if there's some data, and then I'll try to see if I can plot that and like generate some visualizations. So Syria, refugees, uh, settlement locations data. I don't know if there's such a data exists, right? Like, so this is some data. I think, so this is okay. It says Turkey. Maybe this is very high level, but let's see if there's this data set. So this is Syria refugee sites. Let's check actually. I mean, there's no description apparently. So let me try to download this data and see how big that is. Okay, so this is only 3.8 kilobytes. So yeah, I mean, this has latitude and longitude and has these various camps. So let's see. I mean, this is too small, but okay, it is what it is. Let me try to plot this, right? Like, so I'll say because it has latitude and longitude, I can plot it. Can you plot this data on a map, right? So it'll, I don't think it'll be able to, but I can ask it, give me a code, HTML file, which I can open, create the file with Folium or something similar. So, maybe if it doesn't work, then I will try to give it some more guidance, because I know how to do this. But again, like in the end, it doesn't matter like what I tell the AI. I will, so it's trying to understand itself. It says, okay, it's trying to use GeoPandas and things like that. So then it has some issues and it's trying to correct itself. Okay, so already, okay, this is it's trying to plot based on latitude and longitude, but this is not a really good plot. Actually, I mean, this is somewhat good. Like, it's trying to put things on a 2D surface, but I want actual underlying map as well. So I will, uh, give it more guidance. So now it knows what libraries to use and things like that. So let's check. Hopefully this will give me like an HTML file that I can open and yeah. So it says this is created. Let's try to download that. Let's see if this works. Yeah, again, like zero shot, like super easy. So basically, okay, this is Syria and people have either settled in Iraq and this is, man, again, like this is super good, right? Like, so already by putting your cursor on it tells you, okay, this is the Al Ubaidi refugee camp. Then there are places in this is Lebanon. No, this is Jordan. Actually, there are things in Lebanon, but I don't know why these locations are not being shown. And yeah, this is Lebanon. No, yeah, this is Lebanon. This is yeah, this is from here. It's all Turkey. So there are lots of refugee camps in Turkey. This is, I think, Gaziantep, something like that. Anyway, so there's a bunch of these, right? Like, so this is super interesting. Again, like there's some of these also within Iraq. Anyway, yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, this is Gaziantep. But again, like in 5 minutes, man, like what's happening? Yeah, it's 5 minutes. If I am able to get that sort of a thing, this is extremely helpful, extremely useful, right? Like, so yeah, so basically, this is what are a few examples of how I use it for data manipulation and exploratory data analysis. This is like super simple. I've not coded anything, but it's exponentially helpful if you can program and you can do use these tools for some of the tasks yourself. But yeah, so in the next video, I'll show you something a bit more complex where we're going to develop some complex software. Like it's basically a extension, a browser extension that does something very specific to a use case that you might have. I'll show you one example of that. Again, that gives you a sense of like how useful these tools are. Thanks.